Hello, everyone. I'm assuming that oh, wait, hold a second. There I am. Let me get my head down a little bit. Welcome, everyone. Happy Christmas. Happy end of 2025 and start of 2026. And 2025 was a tough year. It was a challenging year for me, for many of my clients. And 2026, we've just got to take everything that we've learned, everything that we know, and we've got to apply it immediately. And we've got to do it in a systematic manner so that we can achieve those objectives that we know we can achieve. Got a limited amount of time left. Let's get to work. Let's make sure this happens. I'm going to talk to you about the evolution of technology in this industry. And I'm going to do it by comparing our new technology platform and what it entails with other similar platforms. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson because I've been doing this for so long. I've watched the evolution. When I first got started in this business back in 2005, almost 20 years ago, the best thing you could have as a tool in your arsenal was LoopNet. LoopNet was the place where every broker would go and bring their deals, and every possible deal or multifamily opportunity deals, whether they were true deals or not, was yet to be seen. But when you got into this business, you went and you opened up an account with LoopNet, and they had a free version and they had a premium version. And I had the premium version, and that allowed you to see other properties that the brokers would hide behind the paywall. What I found out is that why pay that extra money? Go search your broker's websites and you can find that stuff. The brokers that didn't have the big following, they wouldn't hide it behind the paywall, so you'd get to see every deal. LoopNet was for properties that were for sale, okay? And not much has changed. If you recall, if any of you know me or you follow me, you know what my saying is about LoopNet. LoopNet is where deals go to die. I came up with that saying when I had a conversation with a particular broker that I had a property under contract with, and I was going through the due diligence process, and my investment group were always still looking for deals. And all of a sudden I get notification that there's a particular property in that marketplace for sale. And then I pull it up off of LoopNet and I look to see, and it's being offered by the broker that I was working with. And I called them up. I said, hey, so much for pocket listings. You just put this thing out there and you didn't even give me a chance to look at it before you marketed it to the world. What's that all about? He goes, Charlie, you don't want this deal. This deal's a stinker. I said, well, I mean, you could have given me the opportunity to take a look at it. He said, yeah, but this particular deal is the type of deal that we put out on LoopNet. There are other deals that we don't. I said, oh, tell me more. Now, this was so many years ago and I was still a novice. And he said, listen, when we find a deal that we like, we keep it in-house. We don't send it out to the world. We let other clients of ours, people that we've done business with, we give them first crack at it. And if none of them buy the property or put it under contract, they go out to the office, and everybody in the office gets a crack at it. And if it doesn't meet any of their requirements or nobody is excited about it, they send it out to LoopNet. And so therefore LoopNet, as he says, when I send a property out on LoopNet, we get about 1,700 requests for additional information. And I'm going to show you today just how easy that is and why they get 1,700 additional requests. And of course, the system automatically generates through those so that they don't have to touch any of them. I said, what happens after that? He says, well, we get about 25 requests for additional information. So out of 1,700, 25 people have actually looked at the information and came up with questions. And then out of that 20 to 25, he says, we may get about 5 offers. And that's how it works. So if you read the cover of LoopNet, you'll see it says, oh, we have 5 million investors, unique views a month or something to that effect. That means 10 million eyeballs look at that property and pass on it or make an offer on it. But you've got to compete against 10 million eyeballs. That's tough competition. Even if it's the smartest competition in the world, which it isn't, that's a lot of eyeballs that you got to compete against. So that's not where you're going to make your money. LoopNet is where deals go to die. So after a few years, there came along this service called Crexi. Now, they were very similar to LoopNet, but they had some cool features added to them where when a broker would put the information up online, they would put the whole offering memorandum, the T12, the rent roll, all of the data that you would need to analyze this deal would go up onto the Crexi platform for that particular property. Then what would happen is you want to make an offer, you got to use our form. And everything was staged. Nothing was negotiated. Of course, you could get around that if you went directly to the broker. But the point was that Crexi was trying to keep you within their guardrails, and that was it. So, it was almost like that auction.com or 10X where you have to follow their regimen, their rules in order to make an offer on the property. In the case of an auction, I get it. In the case of a new property with a seller, arm's length transaction, I want to be able to talk to that person and negotiate with that person. And Crexi really didn't give you that much of a platform to do that. But Crexi was, a step up from LoopNet. And the thing about Crexi was the way they sold it was that they had great intelligence. And that's actually the name of their product that we kind of compete against, Crexi Intelligence. The thing about Crexi is that when you look at it, let's start taking a look at some of these properties. I'm going to compare them to the Multifamily OS. So what I'm going to show with you here is some of the distinction in the numbers for particular markets. Let me show you what I mean. Here we go. Molly taught me how to do this, so I'm going to do it right. Okay, we'll share this, and then I'm going to come on over here to LoopNet. All right, let me see. I always have to go back and just test this to make sure that this is now I'm going back here. I'm going to ask Molly, maybe she can text me. If you can, oh geez, I just got a text message that there was a plane crash in Nashua near a particular apartment complex, and I happen to know that is on the downwind. This particular apartment complex is on the downwind for runway 35. Let me see. Looks good. I took your cam off the screen, so the screen share is bigger. Okay, good. Thank you, Molly. Yeah, geez, that's bad news. It looks like it was an airplane in the pattern. Okay. Oh, that's too bad. All right. So hope everyone's safe. I know that that's a tough place the airplane didn't land. Okay. Hopefully nobody in the building was hurt. All right. So here we have a situation where on the right-hand side of your screen is MultifamilyOS.ai, which is our product. And over here on the left is LoopNet. Now, with LoopNet, all you're doing is you're looking at properties that are for sale. So if I typed in Tampa, Florida for both of these systems, Now, remember the point that the story I'm teaching you here is the evolution of these programs, and I'm going to dispel with LoopNet very quickly. So LoopNet, this cost me nothing to do this search on LoopNet, and as you can see, I put in Tampa, Florida. But the thing I want you to realize is, in Tampa, Florida, when you type in LoopNet, it shows you 24 properties. Okay, 24 properties. And the reason why it's only 24 is because LoopNet just shows you what's for sale. Well, folks, I can be done with reviewing the properties in Tampa, Florida, first sale on LoopNet before lunchtime of any given day. And if you understand that getting into multifamily is all about, it's a sales job, and sales is all about the numbers, then you know you're never going to make a sale if you're only touching 24 potential customers in the course of a day. And this list doesn't change but monthly. So if you're looking to swamp the market with you and out there talking to owners and talking to sellers, it's a part-time gig if all you do is use LoopNet. So look at what happens over here on our side. And we just decided to discover a bunch of properties in Tampa. And I hit search. There are 4,558 properties. Now remember, they're not all for sale. But if you are looking at 24 versus 4,500, the chances are better that you're going to be able to whittle it down and find something that meets your requirements and finds that what you're looking for very, very quickly if you use a system like the Multifamily OS.ai system. Now, absolutely, I know what you're thinking. Well, Charlie, that's not a real apples to apples. Can you make this an apples to apples comparison? And yes, I can. And here's how I would do it. Is I would then look at my Tampa properties over here on the right-hand side and say, okay, well, if LoopNet is all just showing you what's for sale, how can I figure out the properties that are just for sale in Tampa, Florida, using the OS.ai? What I would do is come down here to the sales history, find active MLS, check that, and hit search properties. Now we're doing an apples to apples. And when we do that, we're now looking at 75 properties that are in MLS in Tampa. Okay, so on the left-hand side, all of these properties that you see come from brokerage houses. Not every brokerage house uses LoopNet, so you're still not even seeing all the properties for sale. But over here on this side, there you have it. We have more than double, 3 times more properties for sale than using Multifamily OS than we do with LoopNet. So my point is this: out of the services that are coming around nowadays to fill this void, to help you find deals, LoopNet is the dinosaur in the mix. Okay, and you cannot achieve your success in 2026 if all you do is focus on LoopNet. Now, what I'm going to do next, and Molly, I want you to tell me that you can see this as well. What I want to do here is now compare Multifamily OS.ai to the Crexi model, the updated Crexi model, which is coming around, and it's really it's giving us the best run for your money that it can. So that's part of why I'm looking at it here and thinking, this we have to be able to compete against the Crexis of the world on more levels, because folks, everybody's got AI. You know, when you hear somebody is trying to sell you something like this, like a SaaS product, a software as a service product, it had better have AI built in, or they're a dinosaur already. And it almost gets to the point where you don't even advertise the AI. It's just it's baked into the equation. And that's the way it is with these two services. And I'll explain why in just a moment. Oh, this water is going down very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. All right. So over here, we did the same thing. We put in Tampa, Florida. There it is again, 4,558. Now over here, what we did was we put in commercial properties for sale, and look at, they're coming up with 39, 24 on the last one, 39 on this one. Because remember, in this example, I am using the free version of Crexi that shows you the properties for sale. On the left-hand side, I'm showing you the free version of Multifamily OS, which also, the difference is our free version shows you every property. Their free version shows you properties for sale. They're kind of competing with the LoopNets. Ours, on the other side, gives you every property, our free version. Now, what I want to do is I want to teach you about the different levels between the two services. On the Crexi side, for $249, you can buy the Crexi Intelligence. For the $297 per month, and you can it's actually $250 if you pay for the year on an annualized basis. You can get all of the properties in the country in our service. So when you sign up for the Multifamily OS Pro version, you get access to every property in the country. You get access to all the owner information. We don't limit you on anything. And I believe the Crexi Intelligence limits the amount of information you can get about a particular owner. So for instance, if you look over here and you take a look at our property, let's take a look at this 48 unit property in Tampa. And what I'm going to try to do, let's see if this works. So here's this particular property. I'm going to copy the address, and then I'm going to put it up here. See if we can do a search on this address. See if that comes up. Oh, there aren't any properties. Okay, because this property is not for sale, so the free version of Crexi will not show it to you. Over here, you can see it on ours. And one of the things we do is, I'm going to favorite this one. I'm going to go back and bring this on over to, I favorited it. Glen, Tampa, come on over here to engage. There it is right there. I'm going to pull it up, view the details. Now, one of the things here is you can now grab the skip trace information about the owner, no information about the owner. We can do a deep dive. We can find out the property overview, attributes, financial details. Look at it, I can get owner information over here. So here is where the owner lives. There's the name of the owner. So we do have all this information still built in. We just don't have their phone number or their email, which we can easily figure out sooner rather than later. But as you can see here, what we're trying to do is identify any property that meets our criteria in Tampa, regardless of whether it's for sale or not, because as you know, folks, in multifamily, everything's for sale. Nobody's going to keep it and hold it forever. Everything is for sale. So we want to be able to go after all of these owners. Now, here's where the difference lies in these two services. And this is where it makes a huge distinction. Let me talk for a little bit about some of the differences. So in the OS.ai, you have unlimited property searches, unlimited, whether they're for sale or they're not. In Crexi Intelligence, you have unlimited property searches, both for sale and not for sale, but limited information on that they'll provide for you. You only get so many searches per month for the owner information, stuff like that. LoopNet, forget about it. You don't get to see every property in the country on LoopNet. You don't get to see off-market properties on LoopNet. On ours, we have a community dashboard where we all work together. Everybody in the group talks about different properties. We can swap deals between owners, between cohort members, all that very cool stuff. We're creating that community for you. And this is where we start to separate from the legacy programs. Those legacy programs were great. They got us to where we are today. Some of them have evolved nicely using tools like AI, but they're not at the level that you need to be, where if you're new to this game and you've never done it before, you need more resources than the investor who's been around for 10 years. Trust me, I know how this works. Another things that we offer that really distinguish us are what we call your built-in AI team. And so what happens here, if we take a look on over, I want to show you. If you come over to our website, just click on the Multifamily MFOS.ai. What I want you to do is take a look at this blue box. And if you scroll through this blue box, it will show you all the people, the virtual people who we have put in your camp who will be doing work for you as you use the OS.ai program. You're going to have your own underwriting manager who can evaluate the properties for you. You're going to have your own legal department who've already drafted the letters of intent. The system auto-populates them. We have purchase and sale agreements already built into the system. We also monitor who your investors are and help you reach out to those investors to bring money in. And you'll be working with all the different other investors in the cohort program to access capital all across the country. Acquisitions director. These are people, this is the virtual tool to help you find the deals, help you scout for off-market properties. And then, of course, your marketing assistant that helps you send emails to owners, send marketing letters to owners. All of this is built in. So go to the OS.ai website, look for this blue box, and then down here, click on View Demo. And we will walk you through a tutorial of how our system handles all of these things for you. Let me go back here and run through some of the other things that we have between the two. Look at this. I mean, the green buttons are all. And let me just ask Molly once again. Molly, are you seeing this table? Yes, I think that's a yes. Say yes, yes. Is it okay? But this gives you all the different AI tools, advanced tools, where you can favorite properties, where you can create buy boxes, where you can personalize all your AI recommendations. This, as you can see, the old guard was great. The new tools take you to a level that these services have never done before. As you can see here, $297 a month for ours can actually be $249 or $250 a month if you pay annually. So it's comparable to the $249. And of course, LoopNet doesn't cost you anything, but it's the most limited tool that we have out there. Let me go jump on back on over here to this. So where is my Crexi? Crexi's here. All right. So this is how I'm going to get rid of. Let me jump on over to. I think it's this one. Yeah. This is the home page, and some of the stuff that we're going to be doing here, and let me stop the share just so you can see it, and I'll jump back on over here so you can see me. Let me just kind of give you a run through. We've been doing our morning huddles all year and then some, from 8:30 to 9 every single morning. All the members of cohort, members of the pro team, we meet, and we've been sharing different ideas, sharing how the system works, working together, getting to know each other, really building up a nice camaraderie. So that is going to continue into January and for 2026 for those people who are in the pro program and those people who are in the cohort model program. So we are going to have that. For the last 15 years, I have done a Monday night live call. And in 2026, a little verklempt, but I am going to stop the Monday night live calls, and we're going to have a Wednesday call for an hour where all the members come together from all across the country. They come together and we work on deals together. We talk about numbers, analyzing deals, because we want to make offers. We're going to be making offers every single week. Everybody in the group, we're going to be accessing capital. People in the cohort program and the pro program have access to the Multifamily OS Capital Club, which is what we use to generate money, and we're all going to be working together towards building up that bank as well. This whole entire focus will be on 50 members of the cohort program. We're already at 25 right now. Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to fill up that back slot. We're going to backfill the 50 members. There will be 50 members of the cohort program, the Multifamily OS cohort program, starting in January, all working together to find those deals, to buy those deals, to get into this business, and to meet other great investors who you will be working with for the rest of your life. So let me kind of give you kind of an overview as to how we work and what makes us different. So let me take a moment and just explain how this multifamily OSA system works, because as you can see from the competition, the LoopNets, the Crexis, software alone is not going to get you across the finish line. So let me address something up front. Hold on, let me just swing that back down. Most people say they want to invest in multifamily, and those people that say that, they're not lazy. They understand that this is going to take work. They're not dumb. They're not incapable. They're just stuck. Now, after working with hundreds of investors, I can tell you this with confidence, that if someone is motivated, smart, and still not making any progress, it's almost never going to be the people problem. It's more of an onboarding and an execution problem. Most platforms give you logins, videos, and tools, and then you're off, and they wish you luck. And that's their idea of orientation. That's their idea of onboarding. And that doesn't work for us. So we designed the OS.ai, and you're going to hear me call it, it's Multifamily OS.ai, and I call it OS.ai for short. So we designed OS.ai after a very specific framework that actually gets people to execute on their plans. So I'm going to go run through 5 elements of these components. The first one is compliance, and that is really what we call the price of entry. First, yes, you're going to get access to the platform with the logins and what have you, just like you would with anything else. You get the dashboards, you get the underwriting tools, the deal analysis, the data. That's the table stakes, okay? That's what you're just automatically going to get. But I want to be clear, logging in doesn't equal progress. That just gets you in the building, all right? And same with LoopNet. Same with Crexi. You get the username, you get the password, you log in, you get that's their building. That's what gets you in. But that doesn't get you across the table. Ask me how I know, because I've worked with so many other investors that did just that. They bought into the LoopNets, they bought into the Crexis, but they never got a deal done. And that's where the OSAI is entirely different. So number two, and while I do that, let me grab a little swig here. All right, that's going down smooth. All right, so clarity. We're going to provide clarity, and that's actually what you're here for. We're not here to teach multifamily. We're here to help you solve very specific problems. And that's why everything is built around a 30, 60, 90-day execution path. So in the first 30 days, you're learning the workflow and analyzing real deals. So those morning phone calls, those Wednesday calls, we are all working together so that you learn the flow and you understand how it works. All right. I was on the phone with a new Multifamily OS Pro member today who's looking for property in one of the Carolinas, and I showed him exactly what he was doing wrong and said, try this, try this, try this. And he's like, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. At first, he thought it was just like the Crexis and it was just like the LoopNets. But when he learned how to handle the workflow and how to analyze those real deals, everything clicked for him. And that's what we're going to focus on in the first 30 days. That by 60 days, you are going to be underwriting these deals right. Even if you don't receive any information on a property, you will be able to underwrite that property right online with OSAI within the first 60 days of working. And that's going to allow you to make offers on deals with confidence and subject to the actual real data coming in. So, we'll show you how you're going to get your marketing up and running very quickly, how you're going to get your emails going out to the owners, your marketing letters going out to the owners. And when they start calling you back, you're going to say, okay, well, give me a moment. Tell me some more information about your property. Let me go back to my calculator and see what I can come up with. That's what you're going to be doing within 60 days. And by 90 days, you're going to be submitting legitimate offers and understanding how capital is going to fit into the picture. So you're no longer guessing what to do. The system is going to be telling you what to do. And you're going to be working with all the other cohort members. By 90 days, you are going to be firing on all cylinders. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is what I call the cohort. Cohort is a group of like-minded people all working together towards a common goal. This is where your momentum is going to come from. And this is why OSAI is fundamentally different. Folks, multifamily is not a solo sport. And inside the cohort, you get daily morning huddle calls, not lectures, but short, focused check-ins. These exist for one reason, and that is to provide momentum to you. You hear where others are stuck, what they're working on, how they're using the platform in real time. And you realize very quickly that the challenges that you're facing are normal and solvable. And that consistency is going to beat that intensity, those fits and starts every single time. Now, the connection, and this is something that I've learned over time. Many of my deals have had partners. You don't do this business alone. And most investors don't fail because they lack information, okay? Crexi and LoopNet would always provide market resource information, and you always had tons of information at your fingertips, but most investors still failed. So they didn't fail because of lack of information. They fail because no one notices when they disappear. But inside MFOS, you have built-in accountability. You will be paired up with an accountability partner, someone who knows what you said you were going to do and notices if you don't do it. But this isn't pressure. This doesn't look to add another stressor on you. It's support. And it's one of the biggest reasons people finally follow through. They have an accountability partner and they have a cohort group of other like-minded investors. How does this sound to you? Isn't this just what you're looking for? I wish I had it back then. Now, the other thing is coaching. And this is where we get into the real deals and putting together the real capital and helping you cross that threshold and make those real decisions. And this is where everything comes together. So every week, in addition to those daily calls, every week we're going to be hosting live training and deal analysis calls. This is where we really pull out our calculators, we crunch numbers, we talk about everything. And folks, just sitting back and watching the conversations, you will learn more than you can imagine. We're going to underwrite real deals. We're going to stress test assumptions or make sure that the interest rates work at different levels. What happens? What's a break even on this property? What happens if the cap rates compress or expand? We're going to stress test. We're going to talk through why a deal works or why it doesn't work. And we're going to make an offer in such a way that we can make it work, or we'll move on to the next one. And then when those deals qualify, they can then move into the Capital Club, the MFOS Capital Club, where experienced investors are going to review these opportunities and capital will get deployed. So this is not theory, folks. You're learning how professional investors actually think before they commit capital. You are going to be so much wiser as an investor by going through the cohort program. So why does this all matter? Because software alone doesn't close the deals. If all you're offering are those tools, and even with AI added to the tools, that's not going to be enough to get across the finish line. Content alone doesn't close deals. Motivation alone doesn't close the deals. Execution does. And now with MFOS.ai, it works because it combines the tools, the structure, what we call the cadence, the 30, 60, 90, the accountability in the form of accountability partners, the coaching with those weekly calls, analyzing those deals. We'll stay on that call as long as we need to. And then finally, getting access to capital through the membership. That is all in one system. It's not an accident. It's engineered this way through my years and years, coming up on 20 years of real estate investing and multifamily investing and teaching other investors how to be a success. So if what you've seen today makes sense and you're tired of trying to figure out this whole thing alone, then OSAI was built for you, and it's not built to overwhelm you, not built to impress you. This is not going to happen overnight. You're going to be working with us for 2026. I want that commitment from you, but it's actually get you moving. And if you're ready, let's take the next steps here. And let me tell you what you need to do. I've got 50 people coming into this cohort, okay? I've already got 26. I think that number's short. Let's say I've got another 24 to go. Test it out. Molly has just put up the link right there for the free trial. So the way it's going to work is you click on that link, you fill in the blanks, you put in your credit card information, you choose the option that you want, and then you sit and work with us for the next 30 days. If you like it, you're going to stay. And if you even sign up, you have to stay, because you'll see that this whole program is so different than anything you've ever seen. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day who was going to help me promote this program. And he said, well, I got another program I'm promoting right now. It's $10,000, and the guy meets with you once a month. I'm like, are you kidding me? No, I could never do that. I could never do that. If you're paying me on a monthly basis, I'm earning my keep on a monthly basis. And that means that you need to get in there, sign on up, don't pay anything. Let me show you for the first 30 days what you're going to get. And we're going to work together like you're in the program. And come January 17th, when your credit card hits, you're not going anywhere. You're part of this program, and you're going to see how incredibly powerful it is. So folks, go ahead, sign up, grab your spot, and let's start working. Tomorrow morning, you can be on our call, 8:30 a.m. You'll get an email with the link. Come on board. And so what I'd also like you to do is shoot me an email right now if you have any questions. And I'm asking you to do that. Molly, yeah, there. Thanks, Molly. Because what I want you to do, I want to get your email, and that way you and I can chat. If you have any questions, just go right ahead, and we can go out there, and you and I can chat. I'll tell you why you need to be in this program if this is what you're looking for. It is really, really the best thing I've ever been involved with. And I can tell you right now, I've been doing this for, like I said, 20 years. This program, this cohort style program with everybody working together is how I will be teaching all of my students going forward. So right now, if you sign up today, it's at $297. Folks, I used to charge $697 for my old one-on-one coaching program. That's where this is going to be going. But if you get in now, you're going to be into this next cohort for the next year for the $297. So make sure you definitely sign on up and take advantage of it. Does anybody have any questions over here? I got to make sure that I ask the question. How do you handle the appraisal? Let me see. How do you handle the appraisal once you found a deal? Okay, well, Gary, we don't really, what you're asking is really a single family investor question. We don't necessarily deal with the appraisals. The bank is going to deal with the appraisal on some occasions. They're mostly going to be doing an engineering report, a PNE, a PNA, a physical needs assessment. The way that we appraise these properties is through the net operating income, the calculation of the trailing 12 to calculate the net operating income, and then to determine the cap rate. And knowing if we're in the market and we're working in that particular market, then we get to know what the cap rates are in that market, and we'll be able to evaluate what the value of the property is. The appraisal, typically the way it works, if the bank wants an appraisal, the way it works is you will choose a lender. The lender will make you an offer, what's called an LOI, a letter of interest, not a letter of intent, but a letter of interest. They will give you the terms that they would be willing to lend you that money on. And then they ask for an application fee. And that application fee is not money in the bank's pocket. It's actually for what we call third-party reports. And sometimes if the bank wants the appraisal, the third-party report, one of them will be an appraisal. So you're paying for the appraisal in your application fee. So that's how we handle the appraisal once we find a deal. It all happens when we engage a lender. So you're going to do your due diligence process first. And once you say, yes, we're ready to move forward with this, then we will already been dealing with a lender. The lender will then go out and engage those reports, and one of them would be the appraisal. So, all right, cool. Thanks, Gary. Let's see, Molly. Okay, Win, Stelter, here we go. Oh, where'd you go, Win? You're right there. There you go. Point out that the cohorts are active investors, not wannabes. Folks, I am so impressed with the crowd of people that have already signed up to be in my club, in my cohort program. That's the type of people I want to work with. When you come into the cohort and you do everything that we tell you to do, when you're working with everybody, you will be part of a deal over in the year 2026. That's who these people are. These are real players. And Win is a new member. He's been around coming to our morning meetings for like the last 2 weeks. So he's met many of the existing members. And that's what he's talking about. He said, these guys are the real deal. And he's absolutely right. I mean, absolutely right. These guys are doing deals and we're talking about them on the morning calls. And it's a blast. It's one of my most favorite things to do. Will you advise help with underwriting if I find it? Absolutely, Chris. I'm not going anywhere. You can ask anyway. Win texts me all the time. I've known Gary for 20, pretty darn close, Gary. But Gary hasn't signed up yet. Paul Dingle, he's right here now. They know that I am there behind them every step of the way. I'm not going to let you make a mistake, Chris. So sign on up, click that box, go ahead and sign on up. Paul Dingle, cap rate index, decent website approximates cap rates for a specific time. Oh, that's really cool. Folks, go ahead and write that down, cap rate index, because we would always use, like CBRE would do a biannual cap rate by their primary and secondary market listings. Then there was another website. I'm not going to remember what it is. Boy, that's going to bum me out. I wonder if somebody remembers what it is. And Chris, send me your email or go ahead and go ahead and send me an email so I can follow up with you and make sure that before we fill the 50th, you're in, because you got to be in. I want to fill up those slots before the end of the year. Paul, there was another website I put in one of my training classes. Oh, geez, I can't remember. It's not. It was in the same video where I talked about. Was it rentmanager.com? Geez, I can't remember, but they would tell you the cap rates. Thank you, Paul. That's a great resource for everybody. And I really think you should. You need those types of things because you have to figure out the value of these properties. And you can't. Okay, one of the things I teach you is how not to look stupid in front of a broker. And one way that you can look stupid in front of a broker is by saying, what's the cap rate in Tampa, Florida? Okay, when the broker hears you ask that question, he knows he's got a live one. And he knows he can sell you anything. He knows he can give you the worst property and you'll buy it as soon as you hear him tell you that, hey, this is a C-class property in a B area. Well, you've never been to Tampa before. You haven't even seen this property yet. So anything this guy tells you, you're going to believe him. And so when you ask the question, what's the cap rate in this area? That's a red flag to a broker that you don't know the market. And if you're an investor in that particular marketplace, you had better know what the market is. Let's see what Gary, Millichap brokers especially. Yeah, exactly. Just don't buy anything from Marcus and Millichap, but always sell your properties using Marcus and Millichap. And if you think that's contradictory information, you're wrong. You're wrong. So keep that in mind as well. So, all right, folks, listen, I'm going to have, let me see if I put it back up here. Take it. You're going to get 30-day free try. I'm loading this up, 50 people. Folks, by the end of the year, there'll be 500 in this program. But we'll be setting people in different cohorts. But get in here now, $297. That price is not going to stand for the next round. So you want to jump in today, take advantage of it, and I will see you. If you sign up today, I'll see you tomorrow. So definitely, let me see. Yep. Paul's already in. Paul's been in. I'm excited to work. I've known Paul for 10 years. He's in this cohort program. He knows that this is something that he's never seen before. When he and I first met, I was this selling my coaching services. Now I'm teaching this cohort. Everybody's coming together. I know one of the things that really distinguishes is that you will work with other multifamily investors. You'll become friends with them. You will become partners with them. You will invest in their deals. They will invest in yours. And I want every one of my students in my program to be friends with every one of my students in my program, because I'm looking to build a beautiful network, a big, beautiful network of multifamily investors who want to be in this business and want to grow and have a thousand unit portfolio, folks. You know how it works. How to own 1,000 apartments in 5 years. You can do it too, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So, all right, 30 units in 2026. Done. We can do that, Paul. That's easy. But one thing you got to do, Paul, is focus on 30 units. You've been sending me a lot of deals that are much bigger. I've already seen some of the deals you've been looking at, because I track everything on the Multifamily OS AI. You all get your own accounts, but I get to see what you're looking at. So that is very key. Let's see. Email me when. Cool. See, 2 guys in my program chatting together. I love it. Love it. All right, folks. Great to have you. So glad you're here. Make sure you sign on up. Make sure you shoot me an email if you have any questions. Charles@dobenslaw.com. Yeah, there goes Molly. She's doing it. Make sure you're keeping in touch. This thing, once it closes out, I'm shutting it down and then getting this one up and running, getting everybody motivated. Then I'm going to open it up, but it won't be $297 a month. It'll probably every time I do, it's going to go up another $100. So make sure you sign up for this one. All right, folks, great to see you. Looking forward to working with you. Let's make sure 2026 we get our goals accomplished. Let's do this. All right, everybody, good to see you, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow, and not next Wednesday. That's going to be Christmas Eve. Whoo! I will probably see you if I haven't hit 50, I might see you between Christmas and New Year's. Otherwise, I'll see you in 2026. Good to see you, folks. Take care.